Being a social media manager can be hard, but being a freelance social media manager is way, way, way harder. I take it from someone who has been doing it for 5 years, even though I've been a social media manager for 9 years. Hey, besties. Hi. If you're new here, my name is Bolaji. I am the social media ogre, and I am someone who wants to teach you how to use social media the right way. And I'm all about changing the narrative around social media management. In this video, like the title says, or you've clearly seen on the cover page, I'm going to be talking about the 10 things I wish I had known before I became a social media manager, along the lines of onboarding process, signing contracts, and so on and so forth. So if you're new here, make sure to grab your pen, your notepad, your journal, because you're going to learn some things from my own experience as someone who has been in this freelance journey way longer than some of you have been. The first thing I wish I had known when I first started out as a social media manager, as a freelance social media manager, is you need to have a comprehensive onboarding process. What exactly is an onboarding process? When you apply to a company or you apply to an organization for you to work with them, an onboarding process is where they welcome you, they tell you things about the company, they tell you things about what it is that you're supposed to know when it comes to working with them in the company. It's the same thing with social media management, especially if you are a freelance social media manager. An onboarding process is the time where you get to know what the goals are, get to understand the company, the brand, the organization that you're going to be managing, get to understand your clients better, what their business goals are, what their social media goals are, where you tell them, where they also get to understand you better, get to understand how you work, what it is that you like to do, what processes you're going to take to actually get them to achieve their main business goals as your clients. A well-structured onboarding process would help you as the social media manager to understand who the target audience of the client is that you're managing. That's why I do not agree when people say they manage more than 4 or 5 clients, because how do you want to manage it? How do you want to understand the different target audiences of these different brands in different niches? You're a social media manager for a real estate company. You're the same social media manager for a school. You're the same social media manager for a pharmaceutical company. You're a social media manager for a fashion brand. It's literally different. And it's not possible for you to understand and not actually mix up the different target audience as one person or one social media manager. So you need to have an onboarding process that is comprehensive and covers every single thing when it comes to both you and also understanding who your clients are. Now, what exactly do you include in your onboarding process as a freelance social media manager? I'm just going to talk about some of the things I wish I had included in my onboarding process when I first started, which I have currently included. Number 1 has to be detailed brand guidelines. When I'm talking about detailed brand guidelines, you want to be able to understand who their target audience is. You want to create buyer personas for your clients so that when you're creating content for them, you get to understand that these are the people that you are targeting. These are the people you are speaking to. These are the people that you're creating content for. And it becomes easier once you're able to identify who their target audience is to interpret their brand voice as a freelance social media manager. Once you're able to identify their brand tones, it becomes very easy to incorporate this brand tone into their content strategy before you start creating content for them. Another thing to note when it comes to an onboarding strategy or your onboarding process that you should always ask for is their previous performance metrics. You want to see what has been done beforehand, because a lot of social media managers actually face this problem. You want to be able to see the insights and see what their previous metrics are. You want to know where it is they are starting from. If you've seen that a client has bought 500k followers, it's up to you to decide if you want to take that client, because they might need to start a new account, because 500k followers, where are you going to start removing followers from? Or what if the client bought an account and it's just full of fake followers and fake bots and everything? It's going to be so stressful for you as the social media manager to actually handle the account. During your onboarding process, you want to see the previous metrics that actually exist with dates. Another thing you want to also nail down during your onboarding process, and I wish I nailed this down, was my communication protocols. A lot of clients don't have my phone number going forward because, see, once they have your phone number, they will call you in the middle of the night. They will ask you to do ridiculous things. They will not allow you to have breathing space or personal time because they feel like you're at their beck and calls. So you need to establish what your communications protocols are. You need to tell them, if you're not going to work weekends, I don't work weekends. I work only from 9 to 5, and I would only be communicating with you maybe once a week. You're not communicating with them every single day of the week, because how are you supposed to serve other clients if you're communicating with one client? If you're communicating with everybody every single day, when are you going to have a life as a social media manager? You need to have work-life balance. You need to establish what your communication protocols are going to be as a social media manager. And these are some of the key things I wish I figured out or I nailed down during my onboarding process when I first started out as a freelance social media manager. Number 2 has to be sign clear contracts. When I first started, I did not sign clear contracts and I lost money. And you don't want to lose money as a freelance social media manager, not in this age and time when inflation is dealing with a whole lot of us. You need to sign clear contracts, because why? Contracts protect not only you, but it also protects your clients. Because there are a lot of social media managers, let's be honest with ourselves, there are a lot of social media managers that are terrible out there, and we also need to protect this client. So when we are signing contracts, we need to make sure that it is clear. Your scope of work, your deliverables, your payment schedules, your confidentiality clauses, your termination clauses, make sure that it is very clear in your contract. I filmed a video about what should be in your contract. Maybe I will work on it on filming another video about what exactly should be in your contract. But we need to start signing clear contracts, because see, if you don't sign clear contracts, if you increase your prices after a while as a social media manager, make sure you send them a revised contract. Put in the work hours, when they should contact you, when you're going to be having meetings. Put everything in your contract. There's going to be termination clauses so that a client cannot just come and terminate you unnecessarily. There has to be a termination clause. If you are terminating me early, I'm not going to return your money, or you are going to have to pay me a breaking fee or something like that. Because see, we need to start seeing social media management, especially freelance social media management, as a full-time role and our day-to-day life job, because that's where a lot of us are actually earning money. Take me, for example. It was the money I made from social media management that I used to come to the United Kingdom to start my master's degree. If I was not doing these things that I actually started learning from and doing right, I would not have been able to save to this point to be able to get a whole lot of money to actually pursue my master's degree. But you need to start taking it seriously, because see, I am an example, a very clear, vivid example that you can make so much money and you can better your life as a freelance social media manager. It's way more than earning 50,000 naira from one client. What will 50,000 do for you in this age and time as a Nigerian? I know a lot of Indians actually watch my channel. I don't know what the currencies are, but a lot of social media managers in India are literally earning peanuts. But those peanuts, when you put them together and being disciplined with your spendings, or how much you're saving, how much you're spending on apps, which I'm going to talk about in another video or another podcast episode, you would know that social media management is your day-to-day butter bread. It is where you make a living from, and you must make sure that you are protected, which is why you must sign clear contracts. You must sign clear contracts. The third one has to be, I wish I understood the value of time management. As a social media manager, when I started, I did not understand what time management was. I was spending time on one thing. A lot of people actually look up to me and be like, oh, Balaji, you achieved so much in so little time. I feel like 24 hours is still not enough for me, but I am someone that values time management a whole lot. I use project management tools, and I also track my tasks. I try as much as possible not to fit so much into a day. Before, I was always doing like to-do list, and I want to achieve 3 things every single day. But I got to know that it was just putting unnecessary pressure on myself. So what I started doing was I wrote down all the tasks I want to achieve in a particular week, and I started working on each and every single one of those tasks. I knew that this week I was going to film a YouTube video. And I knew that I wanted to film it in a different space. I knew that, okay, I'm going to go to school and go film 2 YouTube videos. And I can tell you, at the time of recording this particular video, I have already scripted my 2 videos. And I know that, okay, once I finish the first video, I'm going to film the second video. I even brought like a change of jacket so that it's going to be very easy for me to like film the video. And it's not going to look like, oh, I'm wearing the same clothes, or I'm filming on the same day, or I'm filming using the same background. It's just, you need to value time management, because if you don't value time management as a freelance social media manager, you're going to see your peers, you're going to see your colleagues doing way more. And it's just because they are disciplined and they've been able to value that the time is not enough for all of us. And we don't want to spend time doing ridiculous things or mindlessly scrolling on social media. And try as much as possible to discipline yourself. I wish I did that. What I do now when I'm working is I put my phone on a tripod stand and I allow it to record me, because I can use it as B-roll. I can still use it as like content later on. But when it records me, I am not mindlessly scrolling on my phone, and I am working because I know that there's a camera that's actually recording me, and it's looking like, oh, maybe people are going to watch me. But I know that I am doing 2 things at the same time, and I'm also still valuing my time. So you want to make sure that you value your time as a freelance social media manager. Number 4 will be prioritize continuous learning. When I first started, I wasn't learning a whole lot, which is one of the reasons why I am glad I am currently doing my master's degree, because a whole lot of things I have learned, I have been able to apply in my next course that will be launching or releasing soon. And if it has released by the time that you're watching this, it will be updated in the description of this video or of this podcast episode on wherever you are listening or if you're watching, because I have been able to prioritize continuous learning. That's why it's not looking like I am behind on social media. It's looking like, oh, I'm always like thinking of these fresh new content ideas. No, it's just because I am always learning. So if you're a social media manager or you're just starting, you need to prioritize continuously. You need to follow industry blogs, industry experts like myself. You need to stay up to date, watch their YouTube videos. See, a lot of people, if you cannot afford a lot of things, I will tell you, watch YouTube videos. YouTube videos will save your life. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. Participate in online courses. There are a lot of free courses, but I can tell you there's only so much that you can learn from a free course. A lot of people that have paid courses, they know what they are doing, because a lot of us have free courses on YouTube, but we're not going to give you everything. And there's so much more that you can get when you buy like our templates, when you buy like our courses, our ebooks, our PDFs, because there are some things that you cannot just get. I'm talking too much on dwelling on a lot of these things because it actually pained me, and I wish a lot of people had done this for me or had told me about these things. I would have been way, way, way on top. I'm looking for the word, but I would have gone far than where I am right now. Number 5 will be to set clear goals and KPIs. Set clear goals and KPIs, not just for your social media channels. Set clear goals and KPIs for your business. Where do you want to be on vanity metric level, like followers, engagement rate? Where do you also want to be when it comes to like courses, your tools that you're using? Where do you want to be when it comes to your finances? You need to set clear goals and KPIs. I wasn't doing that in the beginning, but right now, I'm literally not joking about how many students I want to be enrolled in my courses, how many videos I want to put out, how many brand deals I want to close before the end of the year, how many people I want to pitch to as a social media manager, how many clients do I want to sign, how many ebooks do I want to... You have to set clear goals and KPIs, because this is what you will now be able to use to measure if you're actually achieving those goals. And I would tell you, please set realistic goals and set realistic KPIs, because if you set unrealistic goals and unrealistic KPIs, well, the results will tell for itself. Number 6, I wish I established a clear content calendar for myself. I spend so much time creating content calendars for a lot of people without actually creating content calendars for myself every single time. I spent so much time creating content calendar templates I was selling to other people, and I wasn't showing up. Like, I took a whole year kind of off because I did not have like a clear content calendar for myself as a social media manager. So you want to make sure that a content calendar that will not just help you plan your social media management business. A content calendar that will help you plan when you are launching your products. What kind of products are you going to be launching? How you are going to launch those products? Because a content calendar will help you plan these things. And then you'll be able to sit back and say, okay, this is when I'm launching this. This is when I'm launching this. Because right now I have a clear content calendar on when I want to launch my course, how I want to launch my course, what templates am I going to launch with the course, how am I going to launch the templates separately, how am I going to sell these templates separately. So for example, I'm going to give you like a very, very, very clear example. I did not shoot the portfolio video on YouTube until I made sure I updated my portfolio template and created a portfolio template that I was going to sell with it. A lot of people have started buying the template. At first, when I launched it, a lot of people did not buy it. But after a while, a lot of people started buying the template and started using this template because I had a clear plan that I was not going to create a video about it until the template was ready and I was ready to launch. Another reason why I've not filmed an updated onboarding video is because I want to make sure that the templates I'm going to talk about in the onboarding video are going to be ready just before I launch the onboarding video. Make sure you have a clear content plan and not just a content plan that covers a social media channel. The next one I wish I knew how to communicate regularly with clients. See, this was hard. Communicating with clients can actually make or mar your business as a social media manager because it takes one person to give you a bad review to actually get the internet to cancel you. Communicate regularly with clients. You're not able to meet up. Please don't sign those clients. I have a lot of people in my DMs waiting for me to be their social media managers, but I know that I am not ready. I am not even replying at the moment. But I make sure I reply to my emails. I let people know that, okay, this is what I'm working on at the moment. This is how I'm going to do it at the moment. So for example, I'm going on my first brand trip as a digital marketer / social media manager in the United Kingdom. Why? Because I'm able to communicate well and reply my emails on time. A lot of us don't reply our emails on time. That's why make sure you separate your personal email from your work email. You need to have a work email as a social media manager. Don't use your personal email. My personal email, I use it to sign up for maybe newsletters I want to read. My work email, I don't really use it to sign up for newsletters because I don't want it to be clogged up. I don't use it to sign up for freebies or any single thing. I use it because it is my work email and I want it to be different from my personal email. So you want to make sure that you're clearly communicating with your client. Also, when you sign a client as a social media manager, once you are able to establish your communication protocols that you've done in your contract, in also your welcome packet, which we're going to talk about going forward, maybe in another episode or in another video, you want to make sure that you're communicating with them regularly. You can talk to your clients once a week, give them updates, or you talk to them once a month, maybe when you're submitting your analytics report, or you have like a strategy call. You don't have to talk to them every single week, but you need to make sure that you're clearly communicating with your client. I made a lot of mistakes when I started out and I wasn't communicating well with my client and I suffered for it. I lost a lot of clients in the long run, but I can tell you, I don't think I have a bad review from the clients I've worked with, and it will not be in the line of communication. It will just be like, oh, maybe we were not a good fit. Yeah. Even when I was very busy and I couldn't work with a particular client, I still communicated the little way I can, but I wish I did more. One thing I really regret, and this is one of my biggest regret, is not investing in quality tools early. A lot of you use free Canva. There's only so much free Canva can give you. A lot of you are using tools that don't give you the result. Invest in scheduling tools. Pay for these tools. Charge for them. So for example, I use Canva Pro. I use CapCut Pro. What other pro tool do I use? I use WhatTune Pro. There are a lot of pro tools that I use. I just can't say them off the top of my head. But if you use a tool regularly, you should actually pay for the pro feature because you get more from it. Okay, I use the Script Pro, for example. And the Script Pro is what I use to edit my sit-down videos. It cuts my editing time in half. Like when using the Script Pro, I can edit a sit-down video faster than when I'm editing with CapCut. So what I do is I cut my videos in the script, then I export it into CapCut, and then I color grade, and then I upload to YouTube. Like normally it would take me longer hours to actually cut my videos in CapCut, but now that I use the script, it actually just takes me less hours. So you want to make sure that you're investing in quality tools. The free plan is just for you to know if you want to pay for this tool. And there are some tools that you can buy together with other people. You can buy CapCut Pro with people, and then all of you just have like the login. You can buy Canva Pro as a team. You can buy Descript as a team. So just make sure that you're investing in quality tools, and not just quality tools, quality gadgets. I'm recording my YouTube videos. All my YouTube videos, none of them have been recorded with a camera. Every single thing has been recorded with either any one of the iPhones I'm using. I'm currently using an iPhone 15 Pro, and I'm recording with my camera, natural lighting, because, well, that's what I have. And you can see the quality of my video because I invest in quality tools. So make sure that you're investing in quality tools as a social media manager. Number 9 has to be, you need to know your legal responsibility. Yes, you're signing a contract, but you need to understand the legal aspects like copyright, data protection, advertising regulations, intellectual property theft. Now, I heard of a social media manager that was managing for a logistics company and would go to other logistics companies' page and take their videos and had a watermark of the logistics company that she's managing and posted. And they sued them for copyright. They sued them for copyright infringement. You don't want to put the brand you're managing in trouble just because you don't understand what the legal actions are. You don't just take people's posts online and just think, oh, I'm just going to tag them in the comment section and give them credit. Ask for permission first. There are ad regulations. If you're an influencer now and you're posting like a video, make sure you put AD there to show that it is an ad. You don't just take stock images and put on your website anyhow without actually giving credit. You can be sued. The brand that you're managing for can be sued, and if they cannot afford the legal fees, they're going to fire you. I'm going to tell you a very, very real story. So I bought a product. From somebody. I'm not going to mention her name. And then I created a free product, and I used some of the products I bought from this person, and I kept it in that ebook. I had to record that ebook later on because Miriam also brought that product. And Miriam said, but actually what you're doing is not right. Then I was just starting and I just knew, I feel like, oh, these are the things that worked for me. But then it was intellectual property theft. And let me give you another instance again. There was one I found on a blog post and I did it and I gave credit. This person told me, please bring the post down. That's intellectual property theft. Like you stole it from my blog and you now made it into a post and a design. Bring the post down. Like literally told me. So you don't just pick people's posts from anywhere and feel like, oh, I'm just going to give them credit. I'm just going to tag them. No, you need to learn that. And the last one will be prepare for crisis management. Crisis only happens to me when I launch a product or like I don't have like enough manpower to deal with the fallback of when I'm launching. And it's something I'm working on in this new launch. Think of the possible ways of what will go wrong as a social media manager, a freelance social media manager, whether you're managing for yourself or you're managing for one of your clients, because you need to be ready for anything crisis. You need to think of how you're going to quickly respond and how you're going to mitigate that crisis, how you're going to address negative comments, how you're going to deal with people that want response. Because see, the average human being does not like to read, even if it is clear to them. They don't like to read it. So you want to think of how you can mitigate and make sure that you are not offending people or nobody's giving you money, because this can be escalated quickly if they are not handled properly. Those are the 10 things I wish I knew as a social media manager or a freelance social media manager when I first started out. I think I felt the passion as I was talking about it. And I hope you guys found this video helpful or this podcast episode helpful, because I really wish someone told me about all these things I'm telling you now. Well, as your bestie, I see you in the next video. Bye.